Three candidates remain for Northport Police's top position, and tonight they'll meet the people they'll be protecting. Plus, why city leaders believe they're finally making progress on Sarasota's chronic homeless issue, and why is a toddler running away from this cop? We'll show you what led to this police chase in the middle of a busy highway. Your Suncoast News starts right now.
You're watching ABC7 News at 11.
Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Adam Cellini. Jacqueline Matter has the night off. Topping our news, a long-awaited meeting finally happening today. The leader of the free world, President Donald Trump, meeting face-to-face with one of the world's most brutal dictators, Kim Jong-un. The two leaders are expected to discuss several issues, with North Korea's denuclearization being the most important item on the table for the United States. The entire world is watching. But when will the two leaders sit down to talk, and will they be alone except for their interpreters? Karen Travers joins us now live from Singapore with a summary of today's developments. Karen.
Good evening from Singapore. The personal insults, the threats of war, all put aside for a highly choreographed summit here. White House officials say President Trump's personal outreach to Kim Jong-un could be the difference to reaching its goal of a denuclearized North Korea.
A moment for history. President Trump and Kim Jong-un shaking hands, the first sitting U.S. president to meet with a North Korean leader. Mr. Trump and Kim all smiles ahead of their one-on-one meeting. No aides with them, just their translators.
I feel really great. We're going to have a great discussion, and I think tremendous success. It'll be tremendously successful. And it's my honor, and we will have a terrific relationship, I have no doubt.
Later, U.S. and North Korean officials joining for a meeting and a working lunch. This historic summit takes place on Singapore's Sentosa Island. Sentosa means peace and tranquility, fitting for what the White House is calling a mission of peace. U.S. and North Korean diplomats have been meeting here in Singapore, working toward a joint statement that President Trump and Kim Jong-un could sign after their meetings. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says a complete, verifiable, and irreversible denuclearization by North Korea is the only outcome the U.S. will accept.
In each of those two countries, there are only two people that can make decisions of this magnitude, and those two people are going to be sitting in a room together.
But there are key differences on the issue of denuclearization. The Trump administration has signaled it wants the process to happen quickly, perhaps even all at once. North Korea has said it wants a phased approach, dismantle in stages, and get something in return at each step.
President Trump will hold a press conference here in Singapore before making that long trip back to Washington. He's called this summit the start of a process and has predicted he may need more meetings with Kim Jong-un. Reporting live from Singapore and traveling with the president, I'm Karen Travers, ABC News. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Karen. And new at 11 tonight, an update on the city of Sarasota's long-term plan to protect the Lido Beach shoreline. City Hall says it's been approved for more than $13 million in federal funds. Commissioners asking the state for those funds only a week ago after declaring a local state of emergency last month. City Manager Tom Barwin says the protection project will start sometime in the near future, adding in part monitoring will be a significant aspect, as well as having a thoughtful approach to maintain all of Sarasota County's shoreline over the coming decades. Northport residents getting a chance to meet the finalists for police chief earlier tonight. The city is getting closer to filling that spot left vacant by Kevin Vespia. ABC7's Rick Adams joins us live from Northport City Hall after talking to some people at that meet and greet earlier tonight. Rick?
Yeah, Adam, there are now 3 finalists. Residents did get a chance to meet those finalists tonight.
And then there were 3. That's the number of candidates left from the 88 who applied during the current search for the open police chief position in Northport. Jean Lowe has lived in Northport for 3 years. She joined many other residents Monday night for a meet and greet with each of the candidates.
We're trying to find the right fit for Northport because we've had some issues in Northport with the PD, and it's growing. rapidly.
The three finalists include Ralph Anthony, who most recently served as the Deputy Chief of Police for the Tampa International Airport Police Department, Todd Garrison, a captain with the Lee County Sheriff's Office, and Paul Grahowski, a police chief for a community college police department in California. A fourth candidate, the police chief from Jupiter, withdrew his name on Monday. City officials are confident that one of these three will be the next Northport police chief.
We're very fortunate to have some good candidates. I don't think we can go wrong. It's really just picking somebody that fits with us and hopefully move this growing department and growing city in the right direction.
The candidate who gets chosen will fill the position left behind by Kevin Vespia, who retired at the end of March. Captain Chris Morales had been named interim chief, overseeing the department until a new police chief is named. Just months ago, there were 4 finalists from a search done by an outside company. None of those candidates were named police chief. The search was conducted by the city's Human Resources Department.
I like what I see. I think they've picked out good candidates.
And we're being told the city manager will be making a decision on this in about a week or so. Reporting live from Northport this evening, I'm Rick Adams. Adam, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Rick. And tomorrow morning, the Sarasota County School Board is meeting with various law enforcement agencies to discuss the future of school security. And among the topics may be picking the school district's new police chief. It's now down to 2 candidates, Michael Wiggins and Paul Grahowski. Wiggins coming from Polk County, where he is currently a captain for the sheriff's office, and Grahowski was chief of police and director of public safety for Allen Hancock College in Santa Maria, California. In 2 months, Sarasota County will need armed security in each of its 53 schools. That pick for chief is expected to happen tomorrow. Sarasota flipped its philosophy on helping the chronically homeless over a year ago. And last week, some of their homeless outreach partners had some good news. It seems to be working. A recent census of the Suncoast homeless population showed an 18% decrease from the previous year. And while those numbers don't tell the whole story, the Suncoast Partnership to End Homelessness says there is a tangible change. After hiring a consultant, Sarasota decided to focus on a housing first approach, where the most chronically homeless were treated first, placed immediately in an apartment with varying levels of assistance with rent.
The change in every aspect of what we're doing has resulted in a different feeling in the community, a different feeling among the providers of services, that we're really beginning to have the serious impact that we always hope to have.
DeMarco says there are still challenges, however, like funding and over 4,000 locals still believed to be without a home. A teenage boy is recovering from a lightning strike near Panama City Beach. 2 teenage brothers were mowing lawns earlier this morning, but they had to stop because of rain. On their way home, lightning struck close to them, and one of the brothers was unresponsive. A nearby neighbor saw what happened and helped that boy by performing CPR. This is a developing story, and we will have more information as it becomes available. And now we take it over to Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with your first alert forecast tonight. Bob?
Well, Adam, 80% of the victims hit by lightning can be brought back to life using CPR, so it's a valuable tool to have in your back pocket there, and especially in Florida. On top of that, Struck by Lightning, that's the name of a title of a book that I read. I met the author, and she wrote it as a result of her husband being struck by lightning, became unconscious, and someone knew CPR and brought him back to life as well at a lake in Minnesota. So this is lightning capital of North America. We didn't have much here along the coast, but we will, believe me, in about 2 weeks from now, we'll start to see more and more of those storms entering toward the west coast of Florida. We've had some today. It was mainly in central Florida. A few lightning strikes off of Englewood today as a shower built up there as the outflow boundary from the heavier storms inland kind of pushed off into the Gulf of Mexico. Still some lingering showers way out there, but not much. And there's a chance for a few morning coastal showers, but not much. The rain chance less than 20%. Look at the whopping rainfall totals there in western portions of Hardy County. Nearly 3 inches of rain fell there, estimates by the Doppler radar site. Notice nothing going on right along the immediate coast with the exception of few showers right there near Placida and Rotunda earlier. 0.8 of an inch, though, in Northport. What we have is a large area of high pressure, which is just off the coast of Florida right now. So our winds are rather light, and they'll stay that way tomorrow. The storms that will build, though, there'll be a little bit of a westerly flow. So we'll see inland storms mainly with that sea breeze, and then some late night showers are possible again tomorrow. But that rain chance is still pretty small for this time of year. We'll have more on this and the tropics coming up in just a few minutes, Adam.
All right, thank you, Bob. Right now, police in Orlando are in the middle of a standoff that has been going on for almost 24 hours. The man, now identified as Gary Lindsay Jr., has barricaded himself inside an apartment with 4 children, those children ranging in age from 1 to 12 years old. Police also say earlier this morning, Lindsay shot one of their officers in the eye, and that officer now recovering after surgery.
The suspect shot at our officers, hitting Officer Kevin Valencia. At least one officer returned fire. It's unknown if the suspect was hit.
There was an officer shot for sure. I did see that. That was right outside my apartment.
You saw an officer that
an officer had been wounded, and I saw the other officers pick him up and put him in a patrol car and take him away.
The Orlando police chief says the officer that was shot is expected to survive, but he has serious injuries. Police say they were originally called to that apartment by Lindsay's girlfriend due to a domestic dispute, and now they're just urging him to release those children. While teen cigarette smoking rates are at an all-time low in Florida, the number of kids using e-cigarettes remains high. New numbers from the CDC show that only 4.2% of Florida high school students smoke traditional cigarettes, which is far below the national average. However, the use of e-cigs amongst children has increased dramatically in the recent years, and state health officials say vaping is not safer than the traditional form of smoking. Shocking video tonight shows the moment a car slammed into a toll plaza on the Florida Turnpike, and we want to warn you, the video is graphic, but all 5 passengers in that car are okay. That crash happening earlier this month near St. Cloud. One of the passengers ejected from the car and landing near a toll booth where that other car currently sits. The Florida Highway Patrol says all 5 of the people in the car that crashed survived and have since been released from the hospital. The trooper wrote in his report that the driver appeared to be fatigued. A sergeant in Illinois is being called a hero after another close call on the roads.
Hey! 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 Come here!
A toddler running all by himself into the right lane of a busy highway, and as you saw, Sergeant Anthony Menino pulling over immediately and chasing that boy who ran away from him. At one point, a large truck can be seen passing just within a few feet of the approximately 1-year-old child at what you can assume is a high rate of speed. According to the police department's Facebook page, the child escaped his mother's watchful eye and left his home. Well, straight ahead, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with the first alert weather forecast, plus why snakes can be found alongside a Sarasota County road and the story behind a heartwarming reunion. Stick around.
They are the greatest fighting force the world has ever seen. But what does it take to bridge the distance and keep them connected to family, home, and country? What does it take to strengthen our service members so they can be the greatest force for good in the world? It takes a force. Be a force behind the forces. Give today at force.uso.org.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system can make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean works on all CPAP machines and popular masks, destroying CPAP bacteria, viruses, and germs without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and in just minutes, voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398. or visit SoClean.com today.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
Everybody can make something, because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Bob Harrigan back with us tonight, and Bob, very little to complain about out there on a day like today.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. Pretty warm though. Some people complain always about the heat. Upper 80s to near 90 degrees, and lack of rain to cool us down in the evening hours. That's one thing that people aren't too happy about. We get that rain cool there from Central Florida. You know, you mentioned the lightning victim earlier. We have not gotten into our pattern yet, and that's a very dangerous situation. In fact, your life's more in danger from lightning than it is hurricanes each and every year during the summer months. So keep that in mind too. Not that hurricanes are not dangerous, obviously, but lightning is. So here's what's going on, though. We have Casey Key webcam showing great beach weather out there today. Beautiful for the weekend, too, wasn't it? It was spectacular, and it looks like we'll see the same kind of condition tomorrow. So if you extend the weekend today and have it tomorrow, it looks to be nice. You saw some clouds rolling in there late. Those clouds were very impressive with the photos sent in and the people snapping the photos. Get a look at these spectacular shots. This one from Siesta Key. There was one lone shower and storm that rolled off the coast of Inglewood, then moved off to the northwest and left behind some debris clouds. This from James Laurie. I believe this was from around Inglewood. And then again, here's one from Siesta Key. Paul Taylor getting this one. A gorgeous shot there. And Hart's Landing. James White also sending that in just before sunset with a shower off in the distance. We could see similar conditions again tomorrow. One or two lone showers will make their way from the outflow boundaries from the storms inland, pushing off toward the west during the late afternoon and evening. Could kick off one or two showers, but that high pressure ridge is keeping things pretty quiet around town in terms of wind speed. It's very light out there. There's still an upper level trough that continues to hang out over the Gulf of Mexico, and with that in place, it looks as though we're going to stay in this pattern where we don't see a lot of action going along the coast, but inland storms will be a real good bet. Although that rain chance is not all that high, we will see some storms around. Get a look. There's one lone shower just to the southeast of Ruskin, and once in a while you get a little pop-up shower in the morning in this kind of situation as well in the Gulf of Mexico, and gets close to the coast just as the sun rises, and then mainly inland storms in the afternoon, pushing off toward the east. Now, as I said, there'll be some residual showers that could eventually make their way back off into the Gulf throughout the evening hours on Tuesday, but we'll start off the similar conditions on on Wednesday, and on Thursday things stay pretty much similar. So there's not a lot of big change going on in our weather right now for the next couple of days. By the weekend, I think we'll get a little bit more moisture coming into play and a little bit better chance for some showers and storms to be scattered about, but still not the typical afternoon and evening thunderstorm variety that we would expect. Tropical satellite, well, we have something brewing down here, and the GFS, they had the system developing last week, has kind of backed off on that. This is Bud. We'll talk more about Bud here in a minute. This system has only a 20% chance of developing because it's going to be tracking off to the west-northwest due to that high pressure ridge off of Florida here. It's going to drive it to the west-northwest right over the Yucatan Peninsula, so it won't have much chance of developing over the next 2 days, but the next 5 days a 20% chance once it gets into the southwest Gulf of Mexico. Look at this impressive storm. This is a Category 3 storm. At one point it had winds up to 130 miles an hour, now at 125. It is weakening somewhat. This is Bud. and it looks like it's not going to have any impact on any land. But Aletta was also a Category 3 hurricane in the Pacific. 77 right now, southeast winds at 7, the pressure at 30.03, that's high. And we're below rainfall for the month at 0.35 of an inch below the rainfall amount. 88 the high today, right at the average. The low is pretty close to it too at 73. And as far as tomorrow's forecast goes, you can see similar conditions expected. A slight chance for a morning coastal shower, mainly inland storms late in the day. The rain chance very small at this point. Nationally, there's quite a bit of activity over the southeast United States where usually there isn't. So the trough in the jet stream is really kind of disrupting our normal flow as far as that goes. For boaters, tomorrow looks good. Seas will be running less than 2 feet and a light chop on the bays and inland waters. As far as the extended forecast goes, I mentioned the rain chance staying low for the next several days, only at 20%. It starts to pick up a little bit on Wednesday. High temperatures will be close to seasonal averages. That means close to 90 right on and through the next 7 days. Better chances for showers and a few thunderstorms comes on the weekend, but it doesn't appear that it's going to be any washout at this point. So we could have 3 nice weekends in a row. Adam?
All right, thank you, Bob. And as those temperatures start to rise, veterinarians are getting more patients. Dr. Luann Irvin is owner of an animal medical center. In the last few weeks, she's already treated animals suffering from heat stroke and several snake bites. She's warning owners to be mindful of the time they spend outside with their pets, since the heat can damage the pads of their feet and cause animals to overheat.
The dogs just don't realize how hot it is. If they've got somebody to play with, they go until they drop. So be very careful when you go to the dog park that you are monitoring the amount of running that the dog is doing.
She suggests limiting your time outside with your pet to around 30 minutes, keeping plenty of water on hand, and using a wet towel to cool them down. If your dog shows any signs of a heat stroke, like extreme panting or weaving as they walk, take them to a vet immediately. New details tonight on that deadly alligator attack in South Florida. A woman killed by a gator while out walking her dogs. This is the 12-foot gator believed to have attacked and killed 47-year-old Shizuka Matsuki. Authorities say a witness reported seeing Matsuki with her dogs at the park on Friday morning, but moments later, they say she disappeared. Her dogs were found wandering alone, one of them badly injured. Authorities captured that gator just hours later. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission has closed the park as they investigate. A Miami mother's Facebook video is going viral after she caught an alligator watching her son play on a slip and slide. Take a look. This video shows Nicole Mojica's son playing with an alligator float in their backyard while that real gator sits close by watching her son play. It's hard to see that gator right in the right-hand corner lurking behind that lawn chair there. Mojica says she posted the video as a warning to others. It may not be a good idea to drive down Palmer Boulevard anytime soon if you have a fear of snakes. Dozens of snakes line that Sarasota County road just east of I-75. Many have been hit by cars, so wildlife experts are moving them into the bike lanes. The snakes live just feet away in nearby wetlands, and it's unclear why they're drawn out from the edges of the marsh onto the road. Some experts say it could be from a recent change in temperature or may have to do with water levels rising and falling from heavy rainfalls last month.
There's lots of factors that cause animals to end up in what I would call undesirable or unwanted locations.
Oh my God!
Look at them all.
Oh my God!
Everywhere.
This isn't the first time we've seen an abundance of snakes on Palmer. Hundreds of the reptiles were slithering along that same road back in October of 2016. Free admission to a Suncoast landmark is coming later this summer on August 11th. Saturday, August 11th, all Sarasota County residents will be able to visit Warm Mineral Springs Park for free. The natural spring in Northport maintains 85-degree water temperatures year-round and has an estimated 51 minerals. That park also offers a variety of spa services. So go take the edge off later this August. Sports is coming up next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
New tonight, NBA champion and MVP Kevin Durant.
It's a challenge every night to be that great.
Plus, when Samuel L. Jackson is here, anything can happen.
There's gonna be a problem tonight.
And music from Future. Jimmy Kimmel Live, new tonight on ABC.
In life after the military, it's our duty as veterans to have each other's back. I'm retired Colonel Greg Gatson, and it's my mission to help you get the benefits and services you've earned. If you need to file a VA claim, remember these important steps. Submit an online claim through ebenefits.va.gov. Work with an accredited Veterans Service Organization, or VSO. And if you need to attend a VA claim exam, please go. Visit this website to learn what to expect.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hi, I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Stephanie Webb. Some of the Sarasota County School Board is meeting with local law enforcement tomorrow to talk about a plan for school security.
We'll tell you how they want to keep the kids safe. That's tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast. John?
A big ridge of high pressure sprawling across central Florida brings us sunny and dry conditions. How long does that last? We'll talk about it.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos, to use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
To be able to just get my son here and not think about how we will pay for it, it just takes so much weight off of my family. St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
Now, sports.
Rays have won just one game this month, but they've been close many times, losing by 1 run in 6 of those last 9 losses. And that is the first home run of Jake Bauers' Major League career. It gives the Rays a 1-run lead over Toronto earlier tonight. The family digging it in the crowd. What a special moment for Bauers and his family. And then in the bottom of the 7th, bases loaded for Joey Wendell. The pitcher knocks it down, but throws it over the catcher's head. 2-run score, and the Rays win at home 8-4. And earlier tonight, ABC7 was at the Trop discussing how long it can remain home for the Rays. The team is exploring moving to a new stadium in Tampa's Ybor City, but who's willing to put up the hundreds of millions of dollars it would take, and will it really give them a better chance to attract fans?
We've got to figure out a way to get more people to the game in order for this business to be sustainable and for the Rays to be here for generations to come. And that's the reason we're looking at an area that is significantly closer to so much more of the population base.
Under the current contract with the city of St. Petersburg, the Rays have until the end of the year to find a new home if they want to move out of the Trop. It's winner take all in Gainesville tonight. The top-ranked Florida Gators trying to return to Omaha and defend their national championship, but the SEC rival Auburn giving them a run for their money. That game is in extras, currently tied at 2-2. That's a look at sports, and we'll have tonight's winning lotto numbers straight ahead.
Zupan, part of the U.S. Paralympic rugby team.
In my game, movement is everything. I get frustrated when my move is blocked, especially when that guy has no right to be there, even just for a minute. I love a challenge, but I don't like to play this game every day.
A message from the United Spinal Association.
This is the story of a boy who was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
A third grader thought she was going to watch a talent show this morning at school, but the finale was something she could have never expected. She has not seen her mom in 10 months because she was serving in Afghanistan. And now that mom is back home, she says she is looking forward to some home cooking and being with her family. And we could run these on loop around here. I could watch them all day.
I do. I post them sometimes. I see them on posts, and I just keep watching them over and over again. It's just so great, the emotion that comes out there, and how they surprise the kids too. It's pretty amazing.
Always good.
Yeah. We have got some nice weather in store again tomorrow. Things looking pretty good weather-wise. We'll see highs into the upper 80s. I'm meteorologist John Scalzi. We'll have more on that potential system developing down to our south.
Also, Ray Collins, Stephanie Webb back with the news. I bring that up because Bob told me I should do that from now on at the end of the show.